robots for assisting and enriching rehabilitation experience. This is a very important topic and will be one of the things we talk about today, and that is what is best rehabilitation. What are the best approaches to enhancing recovery in people who've had an event that's damaged their brain, such as a stroke or a brain injury, or another area of the nervous system, such as the spinal cord or peripheral nerve. And it probably has a lot of relevance to other kinds of rehab questions, such as adapting after loss of a limb, relearning how to move naturally. Many of the techniques overlap because in the end, it's the way we interact with the world, which is controlled by the brain, that dictates how well we move, how well we perceive visual spatial experience, how well we adapt to different environments. And today we hope to give you, although there's been a lot of research about task-specific practice and the role of it. It used to be believed it didn't matter what you did after any injury or insult requiring rehabilitation. That myth has been dispelled. Even most curmudgeonly neurologists who believe that have been dissuaded from that belief. And we are going to hear today from probably one of the world's absolute experts, really a brilliant and entertaining speaker, Caroline Winstein, about what is the evidence for task-specific practice in reorganizing the brain, this concept of brain plasticity, or maybe not reorganizing the brain, but at least improving function. And we have so far to go because really the only substantial studies have been in stroke. It makes sense intuitively that this should work in brain injury. It makes sense intuitively and empirically for conditions such as cerebral palsy, where the brain is injured before the age of 2, and so neurodevelopment has never been allowed to continue appropriately, so that if we put people in an enriched environment and demand motor activity from them at a very young age or at any age, that we can enhance motor development or neurodevelopment. I shouldn't limit it to motor. It could be intellectual, cognitive, visual, spatial, visual. So this is a very broad kind of area of rehabilitation we'll be talking about today. So what we're not talking about today, although very important in rehabilitation, is limb loss and regrowth of new limbs, and we aren't going to be talking a lot about many of the important issues in rehab, the complications of living with a chronic disability. We aren't going to be talking about the patient-centered medical home and how healthcare reform may enable us to give better care, what the best model is for taking holistic care of people throughout a lifetime. We need many, many, many conferences to do this. But what we are going to hear about today, after Dr. Caroline Winstein, who's going to tell us about the neuroscience and what we know so far about task-specific practice and the rationale for doing it. We're then going to hear more about the technologies. This is a technology conference after all, and how they can enhance the activities of the therapists and the clinicians who are seeking other solutions at the same time, pharmacological solutions to enhance brain relearning, brain imaging, so that we can better know what's happening when we do these different tasks, and other therapeutic measures that are unrelated, such as that are closely related but not what we're focusing on today, such as virtual reality and maybe removing the robot entirely. But we're going to talk about robots in a very, very general way, all the way from the robot that doesn't touch the person at all, which would be the socially assistive robot that motivates, that helps people emotionally, that can be the endless cheerleader when one wants to say, I can do it, you can do it, which goes on in therapy, group therapy sessions, etc. We're going to hear about exoskeleton robots that replace function. We are very honored to have Amit Gopher with us today, who is the inventor and founder of ArgoMed and the ReWalk system, which we are very, very grateful that he's here, and we're very grateful that he made such an incredible discovery and device. And we are very grateful to the company for having donated robots to us. And we are the only hospital in the world that received such a donation, because we are a safety net hospital. We take care of the indigent, and we don't have discretionary funds for this kind of equipment. But we have an army of therapists and doctors who work here for the love more than the money, because it's our county hospital. We're very mission driven, and we will stop at nothing to get the best possible equipment and opportunities for our patients. So I do want to acknowledge and thank Amit Gopher, not only for inventing the ReWalk, but for having his company donate to ReWalk systems, which we are actively conducting research. So, hand for Amit Gopher. And he's going to be speaking. And I also want to acknowledge Monica Jones. Could you stand up, Monica Jones, please? Who is from the Brain Recovery Project. As you heard last night, Dr. Liu was speaking about the role of neurosurgery, the ever-growing role of neurosurgery in reconstructing the nervous system after injury, impairment, degenerative conditions. He, along with Ted Berger, spoke about neuroprosthetics, but he also spoke a lot about, at the moment, doing things like resecting damaged brain in order to allow a healthy brain to work more effectively. And Monica Jones has established a foundation which is dedicated to the rehabilitation of children who've had to have brain resections for intractable epilepsy. And we certainly intuitively believe that just as these strategies help children with cerebral palsy, that these strategies will help children who've had brain resections, because in the end, the brain only reacts a certain set of ways to injury and illness. I also would like to acknowledge the Habibi family, Josephine and Julia. Would you stand up? They've been tireless during the grant show, helping us develop international educational opportunities with a variety of charitable organizations in Saudi Arabia and with the medical school in Saudi Arabia. Their medical students have come to us. We've gone there to lecture. And the best way for peace in this whole world is to work together and get to know each other. And we've learned a lot from those medical students. They're pretty smart. The USC medical students should watch out. Those medical students knew a whole lot of neurology, I'll say that much. Because of Monica and Josephine's foundations, we are going to make a certain challenge grant match. I'm loath to say it till the money's in my pocket, but it's all but a done deal. And it's in part, too, because Dr. Luis Montez, will you stand up, Dr. Montez? I know you're here. There he is. And Dr. Schlossik, who is in Poland visiting her mother, and I and a few other doctors have donated, actually, a couple of $100,000 worth of our time after work on weekends to oversee studies and work with the children and adults who are going to be using the robotics. So what this is going to mean, and we'll do an announcement very soon, but in the 900 building, we're going to have a dedicated suite of robots for exoskeleton interactive upper and lower extremity rehabilitation, and it's kind of a dream come true. So in 2009, no robots. 2010, we had the one shoulder arm robot, which was donated to us by Richard Kipper and the Simsman Family Foundation. Now we have the shoulder arm and the wrist. The wrist was given to us by the county. Our Rancho itself is giving us the space, and now with the help of several of the donors in the audience, we got ReWalk because of the generosity of ArgoMed, and then the Rancho Foundation came in with money to fund the study. And now we're talking about brain-computer interface, brain-computer nanotechnology at Rancho. This is unbelievable. So I think I've probably talked too long already. With no further ado, I'd like to welcome Dr. Carol Liebenstein to tell us what the evidence is for these approaches in neurologic rehabilitation. Welcome.